Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you my completed coloring pages for April 2021. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay guys, so the completed coloring pages that are shown here on YouTube are my favorite videos. They're my favorite coloring videos. And so I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a little chatty. So you may want to pause the video right now, get a comfy or put on something comfy, get a comfy drink, get a warm drink, a cold drink, however, a snack, and just sit down and relax with me, or better, just put me in the background and color. Or if you just want to see the pages and just kind of get away from all of the chit chat, you can go into your settings and put me on 2 times the speed, and then you'll just be able to see both the flip throughs and the completed pages that I have done, because there are quite a bit. I didn't count them, but I know there are quite a bit because there's quite a bit of books that I will be showing you. Okay, so let's just get started. Now, I did want to point out one thing. I will be doing a separate video on all of the books and coloring supplies that I did purchase for April, so I won't focus too much, but I've gotten into the habit of putting on a label. This is just a Happy Planner sticker of when I purchased it and from where, just in case anyone ever asks me, I can quickly refer to where it is that I got it, because the vast majority of coloring books that I do have in my arsenal are from Amazon, but I also just like knowing, okay, so what did I get for one particular month over another? I know some people don't like writing or putting dates or whatever in their coloring books. I'm all about the dates and the notes and the feelings and the journaling. That just, it's part of the process for me. Okay, so let's get started. This is a book that I picked up for April. This is from Heidi Hornsby. I will link her YouTube channel below, and she created this. This is all of her own artwork. And I generally don't like scary or spooky things, but I love watching her channel. And her coloring book is riffs on fairy tales. So this is Rapunzel and Little Bo Peep, and you get the gist. It's a different take on your classic stories, and I like that. I like her artwork, and I like that it's single-sided. So I actually have completed this back page. Now, this is not a fairy tale, but this is her pandemic princess, I guess you could say, because this is about lockdown, shopping list. You've got to do all the things and all the time, and yeah, I loved playing this. I did use my Ohuhu alcohol markers in here. It takes it a treat. There's a little bit of shading with some pencils, but most of it is markers, and there's no reason that she's green, but because the pictures are just so whimsical and fantastical, there may not be a lot of true skin tones in here, and more of this style, because to me it just sort of lends itself to it. But I really love her book. I really recommend it, and I'll go ahead and link both her channel and the book from Amazon below. The next book I want to show you is Color by Colors, Women's World by Kira Shershniva. This is a book that came out this month, and I finished one picture in here, which is this one right here. I did use my Ohuhu markers. I do write down when I started and when I finished it, but it's actually not in chronological order that I'm showing you. It's on order of the bookshelf. And I'll actually insert a picture here of the bookshelf where it's right in front of me, and I have both my coloring books and my journals, and that's sort of my creative space. And she was a lot of fun, and so I really like how she came out. And I did mark another page. I'll be starting on this later today, but Emma from Emma Colors 2020, and I will be doing this as one of our buddy colors this month. So this won't take very long because obviously the color palette is there, but I was really happy that, because I felt super awkward, but I was really happy that she agreed to do a buddy color with me. I actually have someone else I'm doing a buddy color with, and so yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm super excited. I'm just thrilled to pieces that they have just been, and everyone that I've ever chatted with regarding color tube has just been so warm and inviting. But that is going to be a buddy color for this month, so you'll see that in my completed pages at the end of May. This one here is Nice Little Town Interiors by Tatiana Bogema-Stilova. And for any of them, if there are Amazon links available, I will link them down in the description box below. I did finish one picture out of this. This was actually done quite early in the month. I did box it out after the fact, and that's why there's coloring beyond the line you see there. I did this on the 1st of April, and my intentions was to base it in my Tombow and my gray mild liner, but I loved how this looked. To me, it looks so modern and fresh that I decided to keep it as is. And so there is no shading, there is no highlighting, there is no color pencil on here. And to be honest, because I like how this looks so much, I might attack the rest of these pages the same way. Because the one that I did previously, this one here, this is based in marker and then done over with color pencil. And I like how it looks, but I actually like how this looks better. That's just, it's so clean and modern to me. And I generally don't tend to favor clean and modern. I like the cluttered and the saturated and the whatnot, but this just, that's so pretty to me. And it's actually quite a limited color palette. And I think that also really is striking to me as well. But I really enjoyed this page. And so I'm looking forward to coming in here again. And that's Nice Little Town Interiors by Tatiana Bogema-Stilova. This is Woodland Mandalas coloring book by Thania McCardle. This is also a new purchase for April. I do have a completed page, which is this right here. So we don't, well, at least I don't think we have deer here in Hawaii. I didn't look up a color chart of what a deer should look like. I'm pretty sure that's not what they look like, but whatever. And I used Sharpie on this page. And even though these are floral elements, I actually wanted it to be the focus on this. That's how I originally thought. And then once, because I did this first, I'm like, do I really want that to be the focus? Yeah, let's have this super fluorescent sleeping deer be the focus of this page. And so the rest I purposely put in green just so that it recedes back and all you see is that. I don't know that I'm going to be coloring any of these pages because as you can see, just like alcohol markers, Sharpie markers will go through the page. And so I don't want to spend any time on this if I decide to use either Sharpies or alcohol markers in here because it's just gonna ghost anyway. The whip that I have in here is this. I am using some Crayola thick markers that I have, and I'm going to tell you right now, I hate how this looks. And I don't know if it's because of those crazy orange bat squirrels. I don't know. I think they're squirrels. We don't have them here either in Hawaii. And to me, a mushroom is always going to be red. I really need to jump out of that comfort level and put different colors because I know they can be. But yeah, I hate this picture. But I'm going to finish it, and maybe if I do something similar where the rest of it is just going to be one color, then I'll like it more. And it could be that I'm using the Crayolas, and I'm not a huge fan of those. I do prefer to use Sharpies or alcohol markers, but I did want to test out the medium. And while it doesn't, there's not a lot of bleed through, there are some spots here and there, it definitely goes. So again, that's not a page I would color, or I would purposely color that page and then not color the page here. It's quite a big book, so there's lots of different images. And as I mentioned in another video, I generally don't go for mandalas, but these to me are small and they are not so, I mean, they're symmetrical and yet there are different elements. I don't know, it's just, it seems easier to me to do something like this than those really intricate mandala books, which I don't own. But that's Woodland Mandalas from Thania McCardle. This is another new purchase from Amazon for the month of April. This is Wondrous Woman, an adult coloring book by Sassy Coloring. She has a channel here on YouTube. I will link her channel as well as this book below. Now, I was seriously thinking about getting I think it was like a Jade Summer 4-in-1 coloring book. And then I saw her channel, and then I saw that she also has not only this book, she actually has quite a few. And I thought, well, I'd like to support a small YouTube channeler or a small YouTuber and an independent, artist. And so I decided to go with this instead of the Jade Summer one. And the pictures are really cute and fun. I love it. You do get doubles, and so it's quite a thick book, and the doubles start right there. But the one that I did was this one right here. And this one I struggled with. I do have issues with doing skin. I'm not very good at it. And I learned that with my alcohol markers, I can't put a dark layer and then try to sort of lighten it with lighter colors because when I did that originally, the skin was super patchy. She looked sickly. And so I put another layer of the darker color on, and then if in the future I use that same color combination, then I'll put the lighter layer first, the darker layer on top, and hopefully it'll blend to something in the mid-range. Because with the Ohuhus I have now, I did order some more. That was a skin tone, and then this is a skin tone. Everything else seems to pull a little too yellow or too green. That might be a skin tone, and so yeah, I struggled with that. For me, overalls are always going to be denim, which are always going to be blue, and because I wanted her to be the focus of the picture, everything else, with the exception of the painting that she's doing and her palette, is in very monochrome neutral. So there's kind of beiges, browns, and grays. And I love how this picture came out. And this is probably going to be one of those books that I work in every single month, maybe even multiples, because I just love the artwork. And I can decide like this to just put everything in the background to recede and just focus on the girl, or I could color it so that it looks like a fully in corpus picture. That it's also framed out, I enjoy that as well. But this is Wondrous Woman, an adult coloring book by Sassy Coloring. This is Fairy Story Special from Coloring Heaven. Now, I had seen someone's coloring book collection, I think like in the middle of May, or the middle of March, not the middle of May. And they had featured the various books by Fabiano Attanasio, who is the featured artist in this book here. And I'm like, oh, those are really pretty. And I looked on Amazon. They're really hard to find. And then Coloring Heaven had come out with this. I had seen someone do a flip through of it. I'm like, ooh, I can get this instead. So I signed up for the 3-month subscription. I have since canceled because I really just wanted this. I do have the steampunk one coming, and then there's a third one that's part of that initial subscription. I think I might actually like this better than the books. I don't have any of those books, but those are double-sided, and this isn't. It's a single-sided page, and so I can use markers and alcohol markers. I did finish 2 pages here, so it's interesting that it just jumps right into the illustration. Usually there's like a cover page or whatever, but this is Beauty and the Beast. I got this, it was the March issue. I think I got it on the 1st or the 2nd because I immediately started coloring in this. And so this is the Beauty and the Beast. It also has Cinderella, Peter Pan, and Hansel and Gretel in here. Oh, and Pinocchio. So there's a lot of pictures. And I didn't realize until I got this that I definitely prefer pictures that are vertical than horizontal. I love the artwork, but this just makes it harder for me to color. And a lot of them are horizontal. So I'm gonna have to get over myself and work on those. And then the other picture that I completed is this one here. And I'm really happy how he came out. Now, again, the skin is a bit wonky. I based him, or this is mostly Ohuhu. The outline is in a black Tombow and then Prismacolor to do some shading, and then a bit of acrylograph for highlight. Oh, in the hair here, because I also struggle with hair. His skin's not the best, his hair is not the best, and yet I really love how this picture came out. It's fun to me, and even though this clock is very prominent, I think he is still the focus of the picture. I didn't actually do much other than putting the color down because I like how it just sort of recedes into the background. And then up here, because there was so much white space, I found a quote from Peter Pan, which is a book by G.M. Barrie, is, "You know that place between sleep and awake, that place where you can still remember dreaming? That's where I'll be waiting." And I thought that was really cool. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I will put the dates that I started and I finished. This took one day. I'll write the notes of what I'm using because it's interesting for me. It's not even so much for video purposes, but I like looking at this, and I can tell the gold pen is my boxing pen. But until I read that, I'm like, well, where did I use my acrylograph? Ah, right there. And it's part of the process for me. And so yeah, you're going to see a lot of note taking. This one here, I had done some basing in Tombow, but the rest of this is either Prisma or Brut Funner, and I really like how it came out. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy working in this. I have not received the Steampunk issue yet, and I don't know what the third one's going to be, but I'm definitely going to cycle through these Coloring Heaven coloring books and just play in them. I actually do like the paper. To me, it's a little thicker than copier paper. I definitely prefer working with markers and pencils, although the Brut Funner pencils that I have seem to work a lot better in here than the Prismas. This is my color by color stained glass mandala, and I finished quite a few pictures in here. And so there's this one here. This was done in Ohuhu. There's this one here, also done in Ohuhu. Alcohol markers. And then there's this one here, which is done in the Target Mandala alcohol markers. I do have a review on those markers here on my page. I purposely left this sort of purpley section blank and kept the white space because I really liked how that looked. And yeah, that's what I completed in here for the month of April. All right, so I did work in here in April, and so I'm going to show you, but I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. No, I in my March completed pages, I told you that I don't know that I'm a fan of this book. I like the artwork. I'm not a fan of the coloring page, and I'm not a fan of the paper, but let me show you what I've done. So it's this one right here. Now this one I started in the beginning of April, and it seems like I just jumped right in and did acrylic black paint for the background and some basing down here. But oh no, my friends, this is over a period of several days. So originally I did the basing just so I could figure out what some of these things were. I believe her name is Lisa from Color My Way. She had attacked a Disney Thomas Kincaid by doing a grid. And so you look at the little grid, you match it up over here, and then you just kind of do the same thing. Well, I tried that. And the problem I was finding is you see all of this here, and then like the sky is, there's tons of black lines that may not actually correspond to something you see on the reference picture. And that was totally what was going on here. So first I tried to just do the blues and the yellows and the whites and the purples, and that was going horribly. And so I tried to use my Posca pen to just white out the black lines altogether. That went horribly. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me see if I can just put this black acrylic paint, the only acrylic paint that I have other than my acrylograph pens, and put that down. And I think it looks both striking because you've got this valley that's going into the night sky. And yet maybe it's my application, maybe I need to put more layers, maybe I just am really bad at this, but it's so patchy. And of course it's on top of layers of Tombow and pencils and Posca and gel pen. So maybe that's what it is. I kind of like the fact that the Disney element is out, because that's just, it seems random. It's from Beauty and the Beast. I don't remember that, but it's been years since I've seen the movie. And so I might come back to this because I think all of this is interesting and I think I can work with it. But yeah, and I don't know that I like this book. I mean, this is pretty. And I guess for me, I'm still just trying to, I can color this without looking at this. And then that's fine. Because then I'm just going to use the lines that are on the page. But like if you see in here, you've got this big swatch here, which is, I guess, supposed to be that right here. But I don't know, because there's so many, I can see at least 4 different colors. That might just be really hard for me with someone with my skill level to manage that. And then you've got here with, it's probably the surf, but you've got these heavy black lines here. Yeah, it's a good coloring book. The images are nice. And yet if you're trying to get anywhere near that, it makes it really hard. So yeah, you may or may not see this in the future. I don't know. But that was Disney Dreams Collection, Thomas Kincaid, Disney Princess Coloring Book. This was a new purchase for April, A Million Unicorns, Magical Creatures to Color by Lulu Mayo, and I did the cover page. Now this actually does not stay here. This will go back to the office because this is where I colored this page. In the office, I do have mild liners, some Crayolas. I've got my Arteza pencils, some of my original Prismas, and Crayolas. So 2 things about this page. One, when I was coloring it, I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a reference picture on what these things look like without having to jump on the internet? And I just based down in my mild liners, closed the book, and oh, yeah. So there is a picture you can base your things on. And I'd already started. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back. So, I don't know how I like this paper. It's quite thick. The pictures are double-sided, so you can't use alcohol markers, or if you do, you're going to sacrifice the other side of the page because it'll just go right through. But with the thickness, there is also a smoothness. And maybe it's because I'm not really good at burnishing or layering, but I don't know if you can see. Maybe this side is better. There is indentation of where I was coloring to try to get the pigment. Again, that could just be me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this amount of layering, both with like mild liners or markers and then color pencils on top, just because it seemed to take a lot of effort. I mean, I like how it looks. And it's really cute images. But yeah, that is the A Million Unicorns by Lulu Mayo. Picked that up from Target. Now I bought this at the same time as I bought the other one. So this is A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo. And the picture I did here, actually I had a lot of fun with. And I think it's because it's mostly Tombow and mild liner with just a little bit of shading from some Amazon Basics pencils. And I liked how that came out. I find it very striking, and I like the black background. But yeah, that's the picture I completed in there. This one does stay home. And that's A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo. This one I picked up in Walmart. This is Camilo D'Erico's Pop Manga coloring book. I didn't know that I would like it, but having worked on a page in here, not gonna lie, I really like it. And I guess I like it because I get to play with skin and hair. I'm still really bad at it, but I enjoyed the process, and so that's half the battle right there. And I like that there's a lot of elements, and yet there isn't a lot of elements. I mean, the main element is her. I could have chosen to left the background blank. I just used all the colors that I used for her skin. Now here in Hawaii, we do have taco poke, which is an octopus poke. It's like a ceviche. Sort of, not really, but it's sort of that kind of fish dish. I don't eat any poke, so it doesn't matter to me. And poke to me always means this sort of purpley thing. So when I looked at this page, I thought, okay, either her skin is going to be purpley or the actual octopus is going to be purpley. And so that's the route that I chose. And I really love the color combination of here. And then all of these kind of pale greens, again, every single green that I used in her skin, I don't know, it seems to tie it all in together. I don't do a lot of burnishing generally. I don't get a lot of saturation of color because I don't really like doing that. So I really think this looks nice, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm looking forward to doing other pictures in here. And I definitely tend to favor the pictures with the big faces, or even something like this versus the one we just saw, like this. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to color this page. Or maybe if I do, it'll just be this little happy, whatever that is. But yeah, I really like this coloring book. It is double-sided, so I won't be able to use my alcohol markers unless, again, I'm going to sacrifice the page on the other side of it. But yeah, this was fun to do. And I'm going to be working on another one on these probably for May. The next completed page is from Luna, a coloring book. This is by Maria Trolle. Of all of the Maria Trolle books, I think I like this one the best for two reasons. I do like quite a bit of the art in here, but also it's a bit wistful to me. I don't know if that's the right word, but my sister passed away several years ago, and she was an avid game player. And in all of the game tags that she created, she loved playing World of Warcraft. Luna was always a name in it. And so whenever I see anything with Luna, it makes me think of her. And so when I saw this, and I saw that it was on Amazon, and then more importantly, I saw some of the pictures, because I don't want to just have books to have, I just don't have the space for that. But I definitely wanted to pick this up. And so it's I think it's the only hardback that I have. I thought it would be problematic, and it absolutely is not. And so, yeah, I think I might get another one from her. I don't know. I've got a lot of coloring books, so it's not something I have to have right now. But what I've done in here is just this little, I don't even know what it is. And this was done with Brutfunners, I believe. And then I did the bird here, and then I did the nameplate page here. And I'm not going to put my name here. For some things I do. For most things I don't, because you saw the shelf that it's on. No one else is in here. So there's not going to be any confusion on who this book belongs to. So I like how that came out. And yeah, I did use my new Brutfunners, the square pencils on these 3 pages. And this is the other one that I'm going to be doing a buddy color with, this page right here, Emma Colors. And I will be working on this page through May, and then I will definitely feature the completed page in my May completed pages. I don't post a lot to Instagram, so I don't know if I'll be posting there, but when I am finished with it, I will certainly be DMing her the completed picture, and then I'm interested to see what she does with the picture as well. And I think this is one of the few boys that I'll be working on, because I worked on Peter Pan, and I guess the Beast is considered a dude. And so I think that's why I gravitated towards this picture, because of that, because the way that we had done our buddy color was I suggested 3 pages from here and 3 pages from World of Wonders, and then she whittled it down, and then we decided on the final piece that we were going to work on, and it just makes it really collaborative, which I really like that process. So thank you, Emma, for explaining that. And then Danny Buttons also left a comment on one of my videos with the same information. I'm like, okay, good. I feel like I have a little bit more information on how to do these buddy colors. But yeah, it's just, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to the other one with her. And then I do have a buddy color that I'll show you in a little bit that I'll be doing with Erica from Elm Colors. But I really like this book, and the artwork is really nice. The paper is good, and I find that it works with the Brett Funner pencils really well. I've yet to use Prismas, and so I'll definitely need to test that out. I would not use alcohol markers in here because I do not want to sacrifice the other page. I will have to test if any of my water-based markers will bleed through. And I have watercolors, but I don't generally use them. So we'll have to see if I'll be using any of that medium in here. But it is a lovely coloring book, and I'm looking forward to the buddy color with Emma. The next book is Mythographic Frozen Fantasies by Fabiana Attanasio, and I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't think I was going to like working in these coloring books, and I am low-key obsessed with working in these coloring books. And so let me show you the pages that I have completed. And this one actually I take to work, and so I will take this one and the unicorn one back to work because I like working on it during my lunch break. And so the first one is this one here. I have decided that I'm only going to use my alcohol markers because it makes it quick and fun for me. But I love how, because I'm using limited colors, not doing a ton of shading, that it looks like almost like a comic book page or like a graphic novel page to me. And it makes it fun. I don't focus on the hidden objects. I've told you guys before, that's the problem that I have, especially with the Fabiana Attanasio coloring books, because I don't know if you can see, but there's a harp right there. There's a toothpaste right there. There is a musubi right there. And none of that makes any sense with this picture. And so I decide it either is part of this or it's part of that, and I move past it. And I really love how these pictures sort of are vibrant and just fun. They are so much fun. In fact, I scarf down my lunch generally because I have an hour lunch break, and then the rest of it I am usually working on one of these because it's just, I love it. I love it. The next page that I did was this one right here, and none of this really makes sense, at least on this bottom part. From that part on, that kind of makes sense, and I think he came out super cute. But I mean, what are these buildings? Why are the lights on? Do fish live here? Who lives here? Yeah, who cares? So, and again, it's very limited colors, but I just love how it came out. Now you can see alcohol markers. It just goes right through the page. I got to make sure that I put something on the back to protect that page. But otherwise, it's fun. And when I'm sitting down, I will just go through elements. All right, I'm going to do all of the grays and all of the buildings and all of the whatever elements are on there, just so I can figure out what belongs to what. Because sometimes the pictures are so intensely detailed that is what the problem is. But once I can base it out, then I can go back and just do some light shading. Again, all with alcohol markers. There is not a pencil to be seen on this page, and I just love it. Now I wanted to show you this page because this is going to be my Perpetual Tester page, and it's twofold. One, these moths freak me out. I don't like them. I don't mind butterflies. I certainly don't mind animals that are more on the cutesy side, but I mean, this is a hairy moth. You can see the hair. It's just gross to me. But the reason why I want to point this out is because I had seen a video from Coloring K. I believe that was the video that I watched. And she had used this. So Satin Glazing Liquid Golden. And it's used to extend your acrylic colors. But what she does is she puts it as a base layer on her pictures, especially when you're using the coloring books with the Amazon paper. And it gives it a little bit more tooth and a little bit more structure. So if you guys weren't aware, if you put that down and this half has it and this half doesn't, it changes how your alcohol markers work. This is the same marker. It's actually one of the Mandalamas that I have at work. But as you can see, not only does the color change, but the properties of the alcohol marker change, because that one bled through like it normally would, but over here, it did not. Now, I don't recommend putting down that glazing liquid and then using your alcohol markers, because not only does it change the color, which wouldn't be that big of a deal, you could adjust, it changes how the alcohol marker works because it doesn't want to blend into itself. In fact, it changes it basically into the performance of a water-based marker. So why waste your alcohol markers? But I thought that was so interesting because I really just wanted to test how it worked. Not so much for this coloring book because it is only one-sided, but if it worked the way that I want my alcohol markers to work, but it wouldn't bleed through to the other side of the page, I thought, oh, genius. Yeah, no. It doesn't work the way I want my alcohol markers to work. It definitely adds some texture to the page that isn't here. And so I think it will help with your pencils, or if you want to do watercolor or whatever. I will link Kay's channel below because it's a really insightful and informative video and I learned a lot from it. But yeah, this is just going to be a tester page for various things I might want to try. But I did want to point that out to you guys because I was really excited and then I wasn't. But those are my completed pages from Frozen Fantasies Mythographic by Fabiana Atanasio. Okay, I do also have Mythographic Odyssey by Joseph Contenbong, and this one I picked up in April. Again, I will be doing a separate April haul video just to show you guys some of the things that I've purchased. I did get this from Target. And this was another one of those, I started working on this page and learned a few things along the way. So this is the very first page that I did in any of the Mythographic books. And I have 2 now. I have 2 more coming. Yeah, I love these books. So the first thing I discovered were these were perforated because when I tried to break the spine, the page came out. And so I decided to color it down and then I taped it back in because I don't want to have loose coloring pages. The second thing I discovered is I love the Mythographic coloring books because I had so much fun with this. And then the third thing I discovered, because I think I discovered it around the same time as I did with my unicorns, is look at the cover. Because it might actually be the same page you're working on. Because I was thinking that. I'm thinking, oh, I wonder what colors the artist would have chosen. And then as I'm putting it away, I'm like, really? Twice now I've made that mistake? Whatever. Now, clearly I didn't do all that nonsense because who has time for that? And there is a mistake on the page, and it's going to be a forever mistake on the page, but I am going to consider this completed, and that's this little fairy up here. Now, I do have a swatch tester of my Ohuhus on the paper that it came with, and I knew that the color would be different, but I didn't know the color would be that different. But she looks like she was just baking in the sun for way too long, and I tried to fix it, and I couldn't, and so I decided to leave her just like that. Everything else on the page is colored. I purposely left that white. That I was never going to color in, but she's going to be my perpetual reminder that if I'm going to be doing skin, and probably that's the only time I will do a tester, go in the back or go on some, page you're not going to use and test the color before you give a little fairy a perpetual sunburn. But I love how this page came out, even with that up there. And her wings, I'm really happy with them. Now, I do have Wink of Stella, and I do have some glitter gel pens, and I recently picked up some stickles, but I don't generally put a lot of other things on my pages. And again, this looks like a graphic novel or comic book picture to me, and I love it. Guys, you don't even know how much I enjoy this. I enjoy this probably more than any other coloring book that I have because of the method that I do. And so the next one I've done, I started this with you guys when I was talking about something. I think it was Michaela's tag, this or that. So I started this. And so this is the completed page. I actually finished this the next day during my lunch break. Now, I'm not super happy on how I did this big lizard dragon thing here. Oh no, it's a snake, Medusa, because I really wanted her to pop out. And she does. But I think I should have done him in a gray and then added some green tones. I certainly was not going to do all of the shading on the various scales because nobody has time for that. And that does not make me happy. If you look at a page like this and you want to do all that, more power to you. But I've really just decided I'm going to do this sort of block coloring and then just focus on specific elements. And I really enjoy that. I don't know if I'm conveying how much I enjoy that, but I enjoy that. Now her skin, again, I struggle. It is based in alcohol markers and then some pencils on top. I wanted her to have a green cast to her skin, but I didn't necessarily want her to have green skin. And so there is some patchiness, and it's really due to both user error as well as impatience. But overall, I'm really happy by how this picture looks. There are certainly things I would change, but I mean, it's still fun to me. It was just a fun process, and I really enjoyed it. And then the last picture in this book is this one right here. Guys, you don't even know how much I love this picture. Now, I'm sure there's more that I can do. Or there's more, let me rephrase that. There is more that other people would do. But this, when I saw this picture, is exactly how I wanted this to look. I wanted her to be bold and strong. I wanted him to be in the background there, but he's not really the focus of this picture to me. I didn't want to do any shading on these flowers. I wanted them to be up in the up close to you. And then this scene right here, because honestly, is she protecting the wolf? Is he protecting her? Who's shooting the arrows? I don't know. But the story is compelling. And this is one of those hidden objects that I did not think was necessarily a bad thing, because she does have a basket there. She is going to Granny's house. And I thought, well, maybe she dropped her pie. Maybe that's why she's so sad. I don't know. I don't know what the story is exactly between what's going on here, because he does not look menacing to her. But I loved how this came out. And I'm going to be coloring some more in here. And like I said, I do have 2 more coming, so you will be definitely seeing those in the May completed pages. I love this page, guys. I love it. All right, my completed page in here, I just did one, is another one that I really enjoyed the process, and it's this one right here. And it is so pretty to me. Now, it took a lot of time, and I think the skin is okay on this one, but I really jacked up the hair. I tried to add in highlights by erasing and then adding some color. And so, yeah, don't do that. But I mean, overall, I am so pleased with how this came out. And if you were wondering, her book is covered in washi tape. I learned that trick here on YouTube, where you can use washi tape to put down on your coloring pages to add elements. And I think it really started the tone for me on this, because mine seems to be a little bit warmer than the reference picture, which definitely is a little bit cooler to me. But I love all of the different elements. I love how her sweater and her skirt look. The book, I mean, to me, it's such a pretty picture. And again, I wrote myself some notes. And the reason I wrote this note was it was a long weekend for me because I had taken some vacation days and I wanted to spend some time watching March completed coloring pages, and I was distracted by what I was watching on my iPad, which generally is right here, and that's why his cheeks look like that. Because yeah, I put too much pencil down because I was distracted by someone's beautiful page. But yeah, I love it. Now, so far, this is Opal's Forest Girl number 3. Moments Wholly for Yourself. I've done one picture in here, and I've done two pictures in the Forest Girl, the first one. And so for May, I'm probably going to do another picture in here and then sort of cycle back and forth between the two books, because there's no way I can get a picture done in each of the books because they take so long. But I love these coloring books, and I actually will be doing what's in my bag video probably this weekend of all of the projects that I want to work on for May. So be on the lookout for that. So let me show you the next book. So a new purchase for April. Now I do not have anything completed in here, but I am so excited because Erica and I will be doing a buddy color of this page here. She's doing this for May, which is a thing, I guess. And so we're going to be doing this 2-page spread. I have some ideas on how I want to attack this page because it'll actually be my very first 2-page spread, but it's a really pretty one, and I love that they have elements that to me remind me of Hawaii, which is where I live. Now this is the third tale, Romantic Country by Erie. I did purchase this off of Amazon Japan, and so everything is in Japanese. Not so much the coloring book pages, but well, that page there, and then all of these intro pages. But I mean, I'm here for the coloring book, so that doesn't bother me. But yeah, this finishes the Romantic Country collection, and there's very few artists that I actually want to have their complete collection, more so because of space issues, and this is one of them. So I think she has a few more that I don't have, and I'll talk about that in a different video. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and this is something along with the one I'm doing with Emma out of Luna that I'll need to start working on now, just so that I can have a good pacing throughout the month. But that's Romantic Country, third tale by Erie. So this is Romantic Country, the second tale, also by Erie. This I did pick up from Amazon. Now I don't have a completed page in here, but I did work on the whip from March, and I actually like how it's progressing. This background element here, I think I could have done better. I've burnished it in, so I don't know that I can add any more layers. And to be honest, I just want to work on the rest of the page and consider it done. So I will be trying this effect again, where I think it's called bokeh, B-O-K-E-H, where there looks like there's like little fairy lights or whatever in the background. Overall, I'm pleased that I even attempted it, and I do like how it looks. I like how she is layered in sort of like a dark aqua blue to kind of pop her up, and it might be something that once the rest of the page is colored in, this won't be as noticeable to me. But yeah, there's just spaces in here that I think I should have either tried to burnish more or add some more color. But I do love the direction on how she's going, and I purposely made this background just blues and a little bit of purples because I knew I wanted her to be in yellow. But that is my work in progress for Erie Romantic Country, the second tale. And for Erie Romantic Country, which is the first book in the series, I actually finished 2 pages. And so I finished this whip right here. Now I'm still not 100% happy with how the sky came out, but I am infinitely more happy with how the sky came out than I originally had it. If you look at my March completed video, this was a lot lighter, so I just added a lot more blue. I did actually frame it out and used a black Tombow and Fudanowski pen on here, and I think that helps. And then I just finished up the elements, and then I based it in Tombow marker, and with the exception of the flowers, I didn't really do anything with the bush here because I liked how the texture of the water based marker looks on there. But yeah, it's not the greatest page, but I do like it, and I am glad that I finished that work in progress. I also finished this work in progress here, and I am really happy on how this came out. And so this is something that I did start in the beginning of March, and I finished towards the ending of April. And I think it's a fun page. I love how this looks like either old parchment or an old piece of wood. And then I actually burnished pencils in, so added a lot more layers and actually gotten to the point where it's actually a little shiny to some of the elements here because I did want them to pop. In some of the pictures of this picture that I've seen, they've made this a road. I thought it was like a river, and so that's how I've done it there. The only thing I think I might have done differently is either I would have based the green lighter, or I would have made this basket lighter because it kind of recedes in the back, but I mean, that's okay. I know it's there and I can see it, but I really do enjoy how this page came out. And this is another thing that I tried. I don't tend to do a lot of backgrounds, but I had seen a reference picture of this where they had done this sort of rainbow effect for the sky, and then I did draw in those clouds, and I'm really happy how this page came out. It's really pretty to me. All of her paintings or all of her pictures are very pretty to me, and I like it when I can do the artist justice, at least with my skills. But that is my second completed page from Romantic Country by Erie. All right, guys, there's only 2 more books, this one and one more, and so we are in the home stretch. Now, you might be wondering why I'm working in Joannas Christmas, and that's because I had seen a video. I believe it is the artist from the new Flowerscapes coloring book. She had been on Happy Ever Crafter's YouTube channel, and she had 3 tips on coloring pages, and one of her tips I'm using, and that's what I'm doing with this one here. I'm using my gold gel pen, and I'm going to outline this entire picture and call it a completed page. And I love how this is turning out. Now this, guys, is taking forever and a day. Using a gel pen to go over black lines is no joke. No joke whatsoever. But I find this to be super relaxing. Now, when I'm in my Mythographic, I'm excited. I'm excited to use my pens, and I'm excited to see what the picture actually is. This one, I can spend 5 or 10 minutes on this at the end of the evening, do a few spaces here and there. That's why it's taking so long. And then make sure it's dry, close it up, and come back to it. Now, I do have to be a little bit more mindful that if I don't let it dry well enough, I can smudge it. But again, I mean, it's paper and pen. This is not going to be hanging up in a museum somewhere. So if there are little mistakes, that's just part of the process to me. But I love how this is looking. Once everything is outlined in the gold pen, I might go in and do some strategic coloring of elements just to make them pop a little bit more. But I mean, that's up to me once I get to that point. And this method might be something that I do with a lot of these pages. So like this, I don't know that I'm ever going to color that. This, absolutely I will. I love architecture. I love flowers. This, no way. No way am I going to color this. I like detail on a page. This is just too much. It's too much, Joanna. It's just too much. And so it may seem bizarre, but I can see myself using like red, white, and green, or red, silver, and green, or just a multitude of gel pens to outline. Not to color, but to outline. And I think that would be super cute. And because of that, I might color that one. I don't know. that Daria Song book that I have, I might do that in there as well. Because, I mean, I could color this, but I think this would be so striking in a green metallic gel pen. Not colored, but just outlined. And it's relaxing. And I'm enjoying it. And so I thought, yeah, let me try it, because this would be a book, if anything, if I didn't do that process, I would only ever work on probably during the month of December. Now, honestly, I can work on it every week. And I like that. I like that my books are getting some love. So that's Joanna Basford's Joannas Christmas. And the final book is Joanna Basford's World of Wonders. Now, we share the same first name. I call her Joanna because I want to say that's how I've heard people say her name. I say my name, Johanna. So if you're wondering why I'm calling her that, I think that's how she says it. But if it's not, I'm so sorry, sweetie. If you're watching, hey, name twin. Any hoodles. This is World of Wonders, a coloring book for the curious by Joanna Basford. And I'm going to show you my work in progress. Yeah. And then we're going to end the page with my completed picture. I based this in Tombows and mild liners. Again, I'm not going to use my alcohol markers in here because it's double-sided, but I have altered this picture. And so the original elements of this picture was the house and the bird. Well, I framed it out because I like the look of that. And you can see how I what order I did this in, because had I been thinking, I would have put the tree and not a line through it, but the tree came afterwards, and so that's why there's a line through it. Because of the trees on this side of the page, I added a tree there. I did add the horizon line, and then I also added this path here because those elements were not on this page. I was working on this last night, and it's a little funny to me because I struggle with a lot of things that seem to be very important to people here in Coloring Tube, although just people who deal with art in general, which is light source. So clearly it's going to be, it's either dusk or dawn. There's lots of light, and my pots have light coming in from here, and that's because the tree seems to have light coming in from here. But then there's all of this yellow and orange light behind, so wouldn't it be lit from that way? I don't know, but I like how the different elements look. I just don't know if they make sense by way of accuracy. I did the sky here again. Oh no, I based the tree, the house, and this in marker. The sky is actually just Brett Funner pencils, and I believe this is 6 different pencils graded up to this orange color up here, and I love how that looks. Now generally for me, skies are blue, birds are blue or red, houses are white or whatever, trees are green and brown, but I would like to play around a little bit more with color and see, you know, skies aren't generally yellow to me. But I like how this looks because I like how the colors play off of the different elements in the page. I do think about these pictures quite a bit. Whether I get the picture in my head or not, no, that's neither here nor there. But I do enjoy the process of it. And I do like how tying these 2 pages with that tree, I will color this page sometime in life, but I love how this came out. And so I'm hoping to have this done so that you'll see it in the completed pages for May. The picture that I did do and I wanted to finish with is this one right here, because I am insanely proud of how this looks. Now I know I could have taken it further. You can see my pencil marks, and to me that's whatever. Because why I'm so pleased with this is I love how the sky looks, and that's just because I used 2 different colors of Tombows and then went over it with some Prisma markers or Prisma pencils, and I love that sort of gradation. Now, to be honest, it doesn't make sense because the way that I see this picture is, and the story that I wrote, which is all of this here, is this is a circus and there's fair folk that work here. And so this is the story on where the fair folk go at night. Well, if I really wanted this to be a nighttime picture, I should have put the dark on the top and the lighter on the blue as it goes into night or something. I don't know, but this is very striking to me and I love it. I mean, honestly, I guess I'm trying to be too logical and apply realistic lighting approaches to very whimsical pictures. I don't know exactly why that stands out to me, but yeah, it stands out to me. And so that's the end of my completed pages. I'm going to read the story. So if you're not interested in that, this is the time to click off. Before you do that, subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment. All of those things do help my channel grow. I'd love to know what your favorite picture of all of them is. Do you have any of these books? I'd love to know in the comments. But yeah, let me go ahead and read you this story. Now, it is, in my mind, done in from Joanna's viewpoint. Because she's Scottish, some of the words here are based on that. And I'll do a little bit of commentary after the story, but let me read you this story. Where do all the clowns and fair folk go at night, Mummy? Asked a curious little girl named Hannah. They have so much fun all day long playing in the circus and with their friends that at night they must be so happy and play, she quipped. Oh yes, the clowns and fair folk have so much fun during the day that at night they don't want to play so much so they can save it for the next day, replied Mummy. Really? Said Hannah with big white eyes. Oh yes. You see, at night when all the fairgoers have left and gone back home, the clowns and fair folk go back to their own rooms underneath the main circus tent. They live underneath the circus tent? Exclaimed Hannah. Oh yes, in tidy little burrows that are all just so warm and snuggly. After a hot bubble bath and a mug of hot chocolate, the clowns and fair folk like to, started Mummy. Dance, eat snacks, stay up late, exclaimed Hannah. Mummy laughed. Oh no, my little munchkin. Clowns and fair folk love to spend their evenings being quiet, reading books, and going to bed early, said Mummy. Really? Said Hannah in a much softer voice. Oh yes, because they know the secret. Secret? Asked Hannah, wide-eyed. Their secret, Mummy said in a whisper, is that they're quiet in the evening, read their books, and go to bed early. Because it's so much closer to the next day when they can play. Hannah looked thoughtful. And then, in a quiet voice, you know, I like to read before bedtime too. Maybe you can help me pick a book? Mummy smiled, kissed Hannah on the forehead. Of course, my little munchkin. It'll be our little secret. Okay, so the whole mummy thing, that's an ode to Joanna Basford because she is Scottish, and I think that's how they call mom. I have never called my mother mummy. I don't even call her mother. She's either mom or ma. So yeah, I loved when I was coloring this in thinking, well, I mean, what does this picture even mean? And then that's how the story came up in my head. It's not the greatest. No, let me walk that back. It's a cute little story. The grammar is not the greatest. The syntax is not the greatest. The flow is not the greatest. And it's kind of hard to read because there's no lines. But I think the story conveys what in my mind the picture was telling me it was about. So there it is. Anyway, guys, like I said, if you're still here, I'd love to know your comments in the comment section below. And as always, aloha.